Alright, I skipped ahead a little bit. Not too much, honestly. It's still the same morning. So, something's a little bit different, apparently.
Speaking of people to see, my family's coming over here today and so is Liz, but we've gotta ask your moms and Mr. Holden still. They're gonna want to say bye, I bet.
Thanks for letting them visit. I'll text them.
Of course! It's gonna be so cool to open my own place to the grown-ups after being their guest a million times.
This seems familiar. What? What happened?
Wait.
He pumped his fist in triumph at his sudden inspiration.
You know what we could do?
Derek left you no space to guess and blurted out exactly what he was thinking.
Go to the boardwalk!
The volume of his explanation got louder as his excitement grew.
Sure, it's even further away than the water park, and we'd probably have to leave after only an hour, but we could make it, and then we'll have at least been there. No one could stop us, and we don't need anyone's permission. Do you want to go?
His pure eyes shone with hopes and dreams. If you want to. Hell yeah! When Derek had good ideas, he really struck gold.
Let's get to it.
Yes! Let's do it!
Alright. We could eat on the road.
Oh.
Alright!
You let your anticipation carry you through snarfing bits of food while bundling up anything portable. The dishes hit the sink and Derek waved off washing them now for a change. He raided one of his cabinets for granola and you pointed out some other snacks to take. All in all, you were ready and out the door in 7 minutes. Nice.
I got you.
Okay, so we hit it last time. Did he say we should keep it hush-hush? Hold on. He's just asking me my opinion. Are you kidding? I'm bragging about this. That choked a laugh out of him.
That's an angle I hadn't considered. And, you know, you're a very honest person.
Sure.
It's...
He didn't say more, though you felt his knuckles brush against your arm inquiringly. Ooh, hello. Oh yeah, I could just casually drape my arm around his shoulders, you know, 5 foot tall me. Loop? They linked together perfectly. Now you wouldn't get lost and would be much happier. Together you stepped further down the path. That's nice, we have a little bit of like a date vibe going on. You were pulled into an even closer, cuddlier position against Derek. His pure enthusiasm made frowns outright impossible. You chuckled, the joy vibrating through you coming out. Yay. Derek gave up going to the water park so he could attend a business luncheon on his father's behalf. Along with looking out for his own family, he never let that supersede your comfort or wants. And he accommodated your sister too, after he put in all the effort to help her come see everyone. Yeah, okay.
Don't worry about that.
You're my boyfriend. It's only fair that I get to be the one who puts you first sometimes. Eye contact temporarily failed him. Derek watched his own foot scuff at the spot where one slab of wood met another. A downturned face didn't hide the wide smile across it.
Thanks, Molly.
It's my pleasure. Gradually, his normal confidence returned. It wasn't a mistake, he wasn't doing something wrong, he could simply enjoy himself, and he would.
Come on.
I had a feeling you might say that.
Woo!
Derek thrust his free hand ahead of you. It wasn't entirely in the right direction of the face painting stall because you weren't facing that way, but you got the idea.
Nice.
Of course.
Man.
You deserve a gold star.
Oh.
He let out a snort while only barely stopping himself from slapping his freshly painted cheek.
I hadn't thought about it like that, but I say that you're right. But...
He twisted on his heels and took 2 steps backwards. The front of the stall was clear, and Derek was in place to keep watch.
Your turn.
It's my turn. What if we did, like, a matching shooting star this time? Of course, you'll be a wonderful pair. For the second time, at least with you and Derek, it might have been their dozenth for the day, the painter put their talent into action.
Awesome.
Then what are we waiting for? Come on!
Alright.
Let's get to the rides. You couldn't remember when it happened, but Derek's hand found yours. He swung your arms back and forth between you. He grinned over at you as sweet as a mouthful of cotton candy.
What do you want to do next?
Wait.
With his free hand, Derek traced the edges of his jaw using his thumb and pointer finger.
Up next is the Ferris wheel. We've got to do that before we go.
Good idea. It'd be a big missed opportunity to leave without riding it.
Awesome.
Alright, let's go.
Thanks.
I'll sit next to you this time. Derek squished his shoulders up around the sides of his face in childlike excitement and welcomed you to the seat with a grin. I wonder what we're going to talk about this time, because we already did the confession. He put out an okay sign for the attendant. A warm hand enveloped yours. It was nice.
You're seriously great.
I feel the same way about you.
Well.
Of course, any time with Derek is a good time.
That's good to know.
His gaze dropped and his voice was low, heavy with the weight of emotional strain.
Thank you. Oh man.
I bet my 13-year-old self would have demanded a refund if he'd called a psychic and they told him what direction his life was gonna go in, and that it would still lead to getting together with you. That's obviously made up.
Come on, Derek. Everyone knows you're too polite to ask for your money back.
You're right. But I would have thought about it. I'd have made a great speech in my head about how it's only fair to not have to pay for a reading like that.
Derek's voice faded out, replaced by the sound of his fingers tapping against the seat. One after another, they played a rapid beat like the fluttering of a heart.
This sucks. Nah, forget it.
It was a good day. You had to appreciate the optimism. Nothing could last forever, and you had a great run. We had a great run, didn't we? Would it really be alright for me to live with you? That was almost too good to be true. You could be with Derek in a great place right by your family and friends. I know I could choose to like do the long distance thing, but I don't wanna.
Phew.
So leave me alone. No matter what the AU, I'm not leaving this man ever. The world is our oyster, Derek.
You know it.
And he gave him a little smooch. You pressed a sweet feather-light kiss on the corner of his soft mouth. Derek's breath flicked your face when he snorted. The kiss had tickled him, literally and metaphorically. Still, he kept you close to him, wrapping a heavy arm around your shoulders. Derek was there with you and you with him. For that, you were grateful.
Well.
Hey, Molly.
His voice was a gentle whisper. It was as if you were still laying on the couch, half asleep and lost in nothing more than a dream. Yeah?
Does this count as our second date?
Yes. No! I don't know. You pick. It's Derek's day. You pick. It is Derek's day. He smooched your cheek, snickers slipping through his lips.
I'd say we're doing pretty good at this relationship thing.
Me too, Derek.
Congrats.
Another good idea to add to the list.
Your spirits had flown straight to the moon like a pair of shooting stars, though physically you were still in the gently drifting cabin and its position was on the decline. The ride came to its end. You were ready for that and whatever else you'd inevitably face. You had a teammate at your side to tackle life's challenges with. When your cabin arrived at the bottom, you took your turn to dismount. I'm surprised this is all new, apparently. The same attendant gestured toward the tall framed exit gate and thanked you for coming. Doing as instructed, you left the Ferris wheel behind you. Derek took wide, peppy steps to clear the way for the next passengers to get through.
Whoa.
Then he abruptly came to a complete halt.
What time is it again? I completely forgot that was probably gonna have to be our last stop.
He was glancing all around as if he'd be able to spot a clock floating in the air with enough persistence. Eventually, he recalled he owned a cell phone. There it is. You discreetly chuckled while he dug it out of his sweatpants pocket.
Yup. Damn. We've gotta go. We might be pushing it a little already. You've got people to see.
Derek shoved his phone back in its place with a terse sigh.
Oh, the second I have fun, being responsible goes out the window. I'm sorry.
Don't worry. It's not too late, and I wouldn't have missed this. Plus, me leaving is only temporary now, thanks to you.
Exactly.
You'll get to see the bros, mom and dad, and your parents whenever you want soon. Let's head out.
Together, you bounded across the boardwalk one last time. The energy still filling the area was thrilling, and the rush made it easier to leave it behind. Nice. Soon, you were packed into Derek's car and on the long trip home to truly your home, after having made the most of the afternoon you got. Sweet. Yeah, we'll do the announcement again. Whatever.
Man.
So yeah, we didn't do a second round through the Ferris wheel, obviously. So we got back a little earlier. What does that mean for us, though? We also didn't stop to eat breakfast before we went. We took snacks on the go. Yeah, we actually made good time, didn't we?
A boardwalk date with Molly, being on time, and getting to see the family before the day's over. Things really are all going my way, huh? It's perfect.
Derek saying the day was perfect made it so for you, too. After a lifetime of compromises and sacrifices, you were proud to see him get exactly what he wanted. And it was more than a little thrilling that a significant part of what he wanted was you. Derek Day should be a national holiday.
Thank you. You're seriously great.
You're a great girlfriend, I hope you know.
You couldn't look away from his fixed gaze, but became incredibly aware of his fingers trailing down your arm. Liz had been so certain none of the Suarez men could woo anyone. She would have had to eat those words if she ever saw Derek truly put his mind to it. Thanks. Is there anything else you might like from your great girlfriend? It was only fair to flirt back a little with how strong he was coming on. Yet the reply made his lips quirk. He doubted his ears and nearly lost his composure. I love making him lose his composure. It's so much fun. What he didn't do was quit. He didn't tell himself or you he was wrong or there was a mistake either. Instead, Derek held up his coy smile with the confidence he'd managed to store away for emergencies and indulged in further romantic pursuits.
Well.
Honestly, right now, all I really want is to be alone with you.
Once again, he closed in on you, this time until you were near enough that your noses almost touched.
It's pretty convenient. We've got the place to ourselves for a minute, huh?
Well, yes. Which one of these do I want to do? Would you like to go somewhere more private? Derek had played it very cool, but in that instant, he lit right up, aglow from head to toe.
Oh, definitely. What about my room? I didn't get to show you all the spots with how busy we were last time.
That would be perfect. He threaded his fingers through yours and gripped tight. The hand was steady and hot. There wasn't a trace of pre-game jitters, only excitement.
Okay, but before anything else, maybe I should wipe the shooting star off my face?
You snorted a laugh like you were your mom. That was not exactly a romantic thing to bring up now, however, it was fittingly practical and Derek-esque. Yeah, let's remove the star this time, because we didn't last time. Maybe it'll save some time later? I don't know. Oh, phew, I was worried I'd have to point that out to you.
I take it you're not keeping the shooting star.
That's right. It's only fair if you're giving up your star.
Let's get to it.
I'll meet you back so fast you won't even miss me.
He bolted from the living room, counting on you to follow. You did. Derek went to the master bathroom and you the guest one. You twisted the sink on and assaulted the shooting star with hot water and a pale yellow hand towel until it was erased from existence. You wiped down the area as best you could, then threw the towel aside. With the job done, you hastily returned to the living room. Derek came up right behind you. Upon reaching you, he bent over, leaning against his knees, and settled his heavy breathing. His cheek was rubbed raw, though you wouldn't notice the tautness of the skin and slight redness unless you were searching for it. Then, Derek bounded back up, seeming as upbeat and unflappable as ever.
Now, as we were.
It was such a dramatic and complete recovery, you had to wonder if it was a trained skill. There might have been many days where Derek frantically put out fires, and his own fluster, before presenting himself before you with a big smile. You never stopped finding reasons to fall for him. Hey! Oh, this music though. In the bedroom? Scandalous. You left the main area of the apartment behind to hide away together in the very back corner. Derek's room was as neat and simple as it was the first time you'd seen it, but the air felt entirely different. You certainly hadn't come to study Mr. Suarez's business. He slipped both his arms under yours, wrapping you up in him. You were absolutely ready to pounce on the man. That's amazing. I love that. Realistically, bundle of nerves. Sliding a hand down to the bottom of your spine, Derek kept you steady as he led both of you onto the edge of his bed. He sat comfortably on the mattress, with you straddling his lap. Neither of you had any plans of untangling from each other. The position on your knees gave an unusual vantage point. You were the one looking down on him for once in your life. Don't remind me. Don't mind if I do. You were drawn closer by the light inside his eyes. Derek was more fired up than you'd ever seen him. I feel like... You know what? We're just gonna go down the list. This might be just the same as what we did before, or maybe not. We'll see. You eased down until your faces could meet. As you touched your lips to his, Derek kissed you back, tentative but lingering. He was making sure it was right, that it was real. You were smiling at each other when it ended. There was no mistake here, only two people whose wants sung the same song. He kissed you next. He squeezed your thigh. You raked your hands through his short hair. Regardless of how spiky it always looked, his strands were nothing but silky soft against your fingers. The intensity deepened. You pressed and pulled your lips against each other in a much longer, much more longing kiss. You gasped for breath when you and him finally broke apart. Derek could only speak in a hoarse whisper. Thanks.
You're really great.
You chuckled against his skin. Derek's vocabulary for praise rarely extended past words he could say to any guy, gal, or pal, but it was only with you when his voice was so heart-achingly adoring. Alright, how about the neck? Okay, this is all new apparently. Alright, maybe it's just because we're in the bedroom, I don't know. Playfully, you trailed tiny kisses down his neck to the collar of his shirt, and you even got in one extra by nudging the hood a bit with your nose. But he took advantage of your distracted indulgence. Derek's hand went around your body and he pinched! You gasped. He snickered.
We're even.
You should have known Derek would retaliate for your stunt at the luncheon sooner or later. Rude! You pinched him in the thigh. You lovingly, yes, it's a love bite. He yelped as soon as your teeth took hold of the sensitive area.
You win! You win!
Derek squeezed you tight, in a hug this time, and laughed wholeheartedly. You embraced him in return, overflowing with affection for your overly competitive boyfriend. Alright, we'll do make a save in case we run out of time again. I think we're gonna run out of time regardless. But still. You're so darling. You cupped his cheeks as you spoke to express your feelings with more than words.
Thanks.
His reply had the exact amount of aw shucks bashful disbelief it would have if you said it randomly while chilling at the park, despite the fact that you were actually making out in his apartment. Derek really decided to pause while getting hot and heavy to think, wow, Molly likes me, that's amazing. It was extremely cute. You managed to get around the folds of Derek's thick sleeveless hoodie, but before you even grazed the body underneath, Derek was leaning away. I'm sorry. Are you alright?
Forget it.
No, wait. Yes? I'm sorry. It's all good. I was just thinking I could help you with that if you want.
He took hold of his own signature red top and lifted it enough to expose a thin line of skin. He stopped there to check your expression. Oh. Okay. You eagerly bobbed your head over the realization. There you go, yeah, sure.
All right.
Derek tugged at the fabric, pulling it over his head before lobbing his shirt past you onto the floor.
There we go.
Nice. Derek rested back against the palms of his hands, totally satisfied and leaving his front fully exposed. He held no shyness going shirtless in front of you. In fact, you were positive he'd been aching for a chance to do exactly that. He'd missed one opportunity for it when you'd gone to the luncheon instead of the water park. This was his comeback.
As you were.
Not yet. He got the picture immediately. Words were not an option in the moment, so he defaulted to a thumbs up. You twisted and shimmied in Derek's lap in your effort to undress. But you managed to slip out of the dress and dropped to the ground. Derek remained speechless. Now that's everything. You resumed the original plan and freely explored Derek's abs and pecs and everything else he put out on a silver platter for you. Meanwhile, Derek's focus had zeroed in on your own chest. He was transfixed by the sight of it. Clearly, there were even better possibilities out there than getting to show off himself.
I swear.
Damn, this is Derek's day.
Alright, and finally. The position you were in frankly demanded that. It was too perfect. You came closer until you were up against Derek's bare chest and sunk lower and lower against him. Then, you rocked your body into his lap. The loose gym shorts Derek had on slipped around smoothly underneath you. It was almost as if nothing at all was in the way of the sizzling friction. Derek's breath hitched and you could feel the jolt that went through him. The shock seemed to genuinely stun Derek into immobility for a second there. You had a home run with that one. That was the biggest thrill you'd had and you weren't sure when, and you'd just gone to an amusement park earlier that day. You needed to relax. Aiming for more of a sit over a straddle, you slid your legs over to the side and twisted on your butt. Derek kept his arms in place around you, which stopped you from falling as you got situated. Thanks. Flushed and content, you rested your cheek against Derek's chest. He was solid muscle from head to toe, but it wasn't an uncomfortable support in the least. Quite the opposite.
You're welcome.
Hey, it's my pleasure.
Derek traced his fingers down the length of your spine. His burning touch had changed to a soothing balm. You welcomed it, snuggling closer. For once, Derek didn't attempt to move right into a new conversation. His hands were full going up and down your back. That was okay with you. In a dreamy haze, you gladly listened to only the sound of his heart and his slow breaths. And then the doorbell rang.
No.
Derek blinked wide, bleary eyes. That was definitely the door's buzzer, but you could have fooled him into thinking it was an alarm clock waking him from a fantasy.
This sucks.
Man, it's been, 5 minutes since we were preparing, and I already lost track of the party thing and that we were expecting Gus. Well, this time I can forgive myself for the slip-up. That was a hell of a distraction.
Boo! Don't whoever they are realize they're interrupting people? Derek let out a bark of laughter, throwing his head back before promptly burying his face against you. He mumbled through a grin into the nape of your neck. Each word had his lips drag against your skin.
Is it too late to cancel?
Even though he was joking, it was still tempting for both of you, but it couldn't be done.
Responsibilities.
Mustering his years of experience being the responsible one, Derek hefted you and him onto your feet. It was time to go. You hunted down your abandoned clothes and put them back on. Mercifully, they still looked presentable enough despite what you'd done to them.
Come on.
I'm going. Alright, well, we got a refreshed pep in our steps. With a refreshed pep in your steps, you and Derek said goodbye to your dreamland and returned to the world of the living, which took the form of Derek's living room. But the expectant smile that had been on Derek's face evened out into a bemused line. His brain was working. And then his mouth dropped open in a terrible realization. Yeah, we didn't make food. We can make this work. Good idea.
Awesome.
Derek swung open the door as upbeat and unflappable as ever. You wouldn't have ever known he was the same man who invited two families over for a dinner party with no plans of preparing a dinner.
Hey,
It also sounds like we didn't make them wait at the door forever too, so maybe they won't be any the wiser about anything.
Good to see you.
And we're back. We're back.
it's-
What happened here?
Yeah.
What happened? Oh, we still took a little while getting dressed, I guess. A deep red over his cheeks that had nothing to do with the face paint he had removed earlier revealed Derek's thoughts plainly on his face.
Molly and I were just going over the game plan.
Yes.
So, I figured.
How was the boardwalk?
Mr. Suarez spoke entirely casually when he mentioned the unmentioned. No reason to wait for it to be said directly when it was literally written over his son's face.
Yeah, how was it?
Nicolas's repetition was far more exaggerated. There wasn't anything pouty about it, as there would have been only a few years ago, but he needed to make his presence known on the topic. You couldn't be allowed to forget that you went to the boardwalk and he did not.
We had a great time and talked about some very important things.
Wonderful.
Good for you.
Nicolas shrugged. He'd matured enough to not demand inclusion in every activity Derek or Jorge did, even though he still wanted to. Good on you.
What? Nice.
I'll offer up a suggestion. Even more meat and veggie supreme. I'd like another half of chicken barbecue.
Yeah.
The rest of the room accepted your idea as well, and I'll leave it at that this time.
Oh yeah.
He was busy and in another section of the apartment. That's what you knew from the last time you'd caught sight of Derek from your position. And that's why a jolt went through your entire body when a low voice tickled your ear.
Molly.
You creakily turned your rigid neck to glimpse behind you. Yes? Derek was there, resting on his arms across the top edge of the couch. He had swung back around to you while you weren't looking. As you processed the situation, Derek grinned cheerily, unapologetic about the shock his move gave you. A soft thump-thump could be heard in the air. It wasn't your heart, though it might have been. You guessed on the other side of that couch he was tapping his heels together.
Should we tell people now?
He didn't need to explain what that meant. You and Derek had one momentous event that no one had been made aware of yet. The move. Yeah, this is probably the best time to let them know. Maybe I should be the one to say it this time? I let Derek do it all last time. Ahem! Derek nodded, surely and supportively. He bowed out so the stage was yours. And you did succeed in getting every eye on you. Me and Derek are moving in together right here. The crowd gasped, then went quiet, but not for lack of feeling. Emotion was palpable, bubbling inside a shell of self-restraint. The first to express the thoughts of the majority was Ma.
Yeah.
There we go. And we'll just go through again. Don't mind if I do. Thanks. Hand in hand, the two wonderful people who raised your amazing boyfriend, smiled over at you.
How sweet.
I love you all.
Us too, kiddo. Absolutely. Thanks.
Poor Mr. Holden. Mom brought you into the embrace along with Ma. Your parents held you tight for another minute before letting go. Like Derek before them, they didn't intend to monopolize you forever. And the siblings.
Yeah.
You know what? I kind of want to go down the list on this one. So I'll just save over that. I'm lucky I got to meet each one of you. So am I, Molly.
Me too. What they said.
Your sister was satisfied, snickering into her palm. Okay, and then we go back. So let's go back to here. I'm looking forward to who else we'll meet in the future. So am I. Hopefully one of those people will be Nova, right, Jorge?
Liz, well, probably you'll see each other at some point.
Nice. We do want to meet Nova. We also connected with that psychic who knew Shiloh. That was weirder.
Who is Shiloh? I've heard him mentioned, but...
Shiloh is an old dear friend-ish of mine. We don't talk much these days, though. Our paths went in very different directions. Look at that, we're back to sounding so serious. The younger boys stared blank-faced, no more confident in their understanding than they were a minute ago. They're just like, huh? And because it's his turn soon, we gotta do it. Yeah, it's almost as weird as meeting the dancer kid again.
What?
Who?
Baxter. Me and Derek met him once at a summer soiree, and then 5 years later he rented a condo on the same street as me and recognized me. Remember Baxter, Liz? The monochrome man. Yes, that was him. The younger boys stared blank-faced, no more confident in their understanding than they were a minute ago. The monochrome man, indeed. He always has to get a mention in somewhere. Always. Let's see. I'll do this one this time. Clearly, Jorge and Liz haven't changed either. I'm glad.
Totally.
Right. You're still big kids too. Molly says so. But Molly was glad about it.
And we were teasing you. If Molly appreciates that, I'm not sure how much of a defense that is.
Hey, you can be glad someone hasn't improved. That doesn't mean it's a compliment.
Dang. You, Liz, Jorge, and Nicolas laughed together and continued to chat on the mysteries of life.
So?
Let's go.
Thank you.
Lean against the railing.
Nice work.
Good job, team. This was a successful dinner party and a successful visit on the whole, I'd say.
Hear, hear.
Indubitably, right?
Yes, Watson, indubitably. He slowly bounced one foot. The tap-tap of that was the only sound between you for a time. You simply enjoyed one another's undivided company. His gaze parted from yours. He had nothing in particular to take his attention, so Derek was simply staring straight ahead.
You.
The future is looking bright, Molly. I love this city and my family, but honestly, it really was missing something. Coming back to Prison Vista knowing you were gone already was a blow. That's patched up now. I'm so pumped you're going to be moving in. I feel like I can get off a treadmill for the first time in over a decade and go somewhere. Possibly on a walk with my girlfriend.
It thrilled you to see Derek bursting with real optimism, not simply wanting and hoping that it would be okay in the face of fears, but having certainty that it would be good. You'd both embrace what was coming next with open arms. Here's to us, Derek.
To us.
His heavy arm wrapped around your shoulders. He curled it in, bringing you closer towards him. Then his lips were on your cheek. Mwah! I gotcha. I'll sigh contentedly this time. You and your darling boyfriend exchanged more sweet smooches, cuddly and adoring to a degree that would certainly be embarrassing to outsiders, if there were any around. Good thing there isn't a giant glass window where everyone can see, haha.
Sorry.
I forgot how much of a problem this kind of thing was.
Me too. What a mistake. Yeah, that was on you. Oh, come on, Nico. Do you really want to be so bad that it's everyone else's fault if they don't expect you being an issue? Actually, I do.
But that couldn't be the end of it, because here comes Liz. All we wanted was some peace and quiet. Did someone already mention how you threw a party during this quest for peace?
I did.
What?
Alright. I'll grin at you just as sweetly. Friends, lovers, partners in crime. No matter the circumstances, you and Derek were always a team, and together you were unstoppable. In Derek's bright eyes, you saw reflections of your past. That first day you met when he bounded up to you so unafraid. The time he'd much less bravely bolted from a very cross Elizabeth. Your grand exit from a different party, one you hadn't been invited to. And the moment you arrived in the Prism City bus station such a short and long time ago, when he'd come running for you. Each happy moment you experienced became only a memory of what used to be. But that's what life was, and it was okay. Right then you were running side by side. You wouldn't take it for granted, you wouldn't waste the chance. Instead, you would keep going for as long as your feet could carry you. As it should be, you and Derek took another step forward and then another. Forward and forward and forward down the glistening city street and towards the rest of your lives. Yay! Thank you for beginning a life here. We did it! You can come back again always. I shall. One more time here. The end. Yay! Okay, I'm almost done all the Derek stuff. There's one more thing I want to do though, which is being in love with Derek when the deal is talked about in step 4 and trying to get engaged. So I'm gonna work on that. Fade out to black here. I'll bring you guys in when I got that figured out. Okay, I've managed to make it back to step 4. We did the deal, the whole dealio in step 2 about we're gonna, get together, 10 years from now. And now we're in step 4, we're in love, and we're gonna talk about the deal right now.
Man, it's insane how much time has gone by. It's been, what, 10 years since we first met?
Wait.
He whispered the words again with the gravity of a long-lost spell.
10 years? It's been 10 years since that first summer we spent together?
Derek's voice and deeds sped up faster and faster. He ran a hurried hand through his short hair, stumbling back from the railing.
Oh wait, hold on.
He couldn't face you anymore. Derek stared hard at nothing with his jaw clenched.
It felt impossible then, but it happened. We actually became adults. Time's up.
Light bulb. You remembered what 10 years meant to you, for him, for the two of you together.
The deal.
Derek's face darkened, mainly in the cheek area. He was full of an uneasy energy that came out as a constant shifting in the position of his feet.
Oh, man.
That's awkward, huh? I really hadn't planned this out as well as my teenage brain had thought I had.
It was true. Time was up. You and him were an entire decade older than you were then. And more than that, you had gone from being barely older than children to being adults. Derek had graduated high school and college. He had a car, a place of his own. He probably had student loans. It was just as he imagined as a 13-year-old. And it was at this point that he intended to complete his vision of grown-updom by marrying you. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna make a save, because I don't actually know how to get to what I'm trying to get to, which is Engagement Town, so boop. What did he think of you, really? He picked you out of everyone as the person he'd marry in 10 years, but it was as a backup. Maybe you were only someone worth settling with, or maybe you meant more. If he had asked you to be his girlfriend, you would have said yes, but this roundabout proposition wasn't that. Your internal back and forth slipped out in your expression. It looked concerning enough for Derek to smile reassuringly.
I promise.
Look, Molly, it's cool. I promise. I'm not expecting you to go through with a marriage pact we made when we were still small enough to fit on child rides at the mall.
He had read you completely wrong, and his attempt at comfort didn't answer any of the questions nagging at you, but you couldn't demand more. If he wanted to be with you and you alone, and for real, he'd ask, hopefully. So what did he say? Let's call the whole thing off. Okay. I messed up there. I figured I would. Dang it. Alright, how about a serious conversation about the deal? Alright, I'll put him on the spot and see what happens. Derek, what do you want to do now? He shut his mouth, he blinked, he thought, he stalled. Derek had suddenly been dropped into a game where he didn't know if the person in front of him was on the same team or the opposite side. Ultimately, he made a safe play and kept the ball in the middle of the court.
I'd be as serious about this as you are. Whatever that means.
And what does that mean? Man, we're awful at this. How awful do I want to make this entire thing? I'll just stare into his soul. That wasn't an entirely clear answer, but it got the gears turning for him. Neither of you gave an immediate rejection. That was telling. The gridlock slowly creaked forward.
So...
Well then, if you don't think it's totally stupid, we agreed to that deal because we thought we'd be good together. Maybe we should see if that's true. We could date.
His tepid words, shaky expression, and uneasy stance were a perfect reflection of the boy who first suggested the plan.
Just to see how it goes, right? Because we have that deal.
The long list of irresolute questions was punctuated by one single definitive statement.
I'd be up for trying.
It's a deal. Yeah, we're still kind of fiancés. Let's try that. Yeah, we're still kind of fiancés.
No way!
The flash of disbelief was immediately eclipsed by a wholehearted cheer loud enough that it might have been heard on the balconies of the next building over.
Then it's a deal! Or it's still the deal. We're on a mission to figure out if that plan was a horrible mistake or not.
Brimming with confidence, Derek held his hand out towards you in the exact same way he had almost exactly 10 years ago. Kiss him on the cheek instead. You were a bit bolder than you were as a teen and moved right past the hand he offered to instead press your lips sweetly to his face. When you pulled away, he was left gawking at you. Derek was even more starstruck than Nicholas watching his favorite big brother do a cool soccer stunt. You were miles away from the old playground and so much had changed for you and for him, but the promise you'd made together was officially reaffirmed. Derek's fingers ghosted over the side of his face where you'd kissed him, as if touching it too hard would wipe away lingering sparks of affection. It meant something to him. You weren't simply romantic backups for a hypothetical future. In the present moment, you were two people who were dating each other. That was hard to believe, but Derek's brilliant smile was there directed right at you, and you knew that Derek never lied. It was real.
You doing okay?
Okay, so we're still dating. It's not quite engagement levels, though. I gotta keep fiddling. I think I just need to be very, very direct. It's the only way. Let's see. Had nothing to do with the deal? A flare of long-hidden emotions was pressing against the inside of your chest, fighting to break through. As always, they were undeniable and unignorable. It made your heart race while your mind swam in a heat-fueled haze. In the fuzzy blur, you could still clearly recall a nice boy you'd never seen before running across the old neighborhood road to properly introduce himself one summer afternoon. You got lost further in memories of bright days spent in Sunset Bird and Prism Vista City, and of the countless hours spent talking over the phone when that became the only option. There was no way you could forget how much Derek had done for you over the years and everything you tried to do for him, though what stuck out most of all was what you did together. You were a team. The reminiscing accumulated in a final, sparkling scene that summed up Derek very well in your mind. The moment he proposed to you in his own quite unique way almost exactly a decade ago. He was important to you. He was special to you. Derek himself described the sensation once. You cared about your friends and family, but when you needed a partner, you thought about him. And as that all washed over you, Derek in the present had remained standing in front of you, waiting for something to happen. The topic was not something he took lightly, and he couldn't take the silence. He wanted to hear your voice and spiritlessly prompted you.
Molly?
Alright, we'll tell him what we felt. In preparation for what you were about to do, you took in a deep breath. Derek watched on in anticipation. Derek Suarez, I love you. And I'll grasp both of his hands. That face, though. The way you moved was slow and steady. He didn't push you away, or flinch, or move at all, and finally the distance was closed. His fingers were so warm. He could merely gawk at you in complete and utter disbelief. As carefully as he'd been paying attention, he couldn't process it. You'd actually gone for it. Backtracking now wouldn't work. You could only press forward into the unknown. Is this the same as what we did before? As he pulled away, you let him slip through your hands. You wouldn't hold him back if he didn't want that. Twisting stomach.
No.
From the top.
What do you think?
You can take this round.
The truth is...
His words had already moved you deeply. Before taking the ultimate plunge, he threaded his fingers with yours to help ground the both of you.
I love you.
Oh, the confession's so good.
I really do.
You did it! And I love you too.
Oh, man.
Well, that's impossible. He shrugged, and while he didn't frown, his expression twisted with a self-deprecating bend. Derek? Are you alright? Derek looked at you through wistful, lidded eyes. It was enough to make the world feel cold, no matter how hot the summer sun was.
Honestly, I liked you back then, when I suggested that deal. It was hard for me. Definitely one of the most monumental things I actually managed to accomplish. But as terrifying as it was to offer that deal, it was at least an option. I didn't even consider going the direct route of saying that I liked you. That was 100% not on the table. It still wasn't, up until about 3 minutes ago anyway.
Derek managed to sneak in a cute quip with his usual grin before solemnness caught up to him again.
I'm not entirely dense. I knew you cared about me. That meant a lot to young Derek.
I don't deserve that.
And so I was eternally doomed to the reserves by myself. That's why it took a second for what you said to get through this thick skull.
I think I did this before. I would have said yes then if you had told me. You've never been just a backup to me. He smiled. Even though it was apologetic and half-formed, it was still nice to see.
I know.
No matter how good and understanding you are, that only made me believe all that stuff about not deserving it more. But that sucks. You lost whether you tried or didn't, and so did I. I'm sorry I thought about your feelings so badly.
Derek was shamefaced. It was something he never wanted you to have to know. That didn't change what you thought of him.
You're seriously great.
The two of us didn't need the deal. It was only an excuse, and I'm officially calling it off. We've got a new plan, one that's 1,000% better.
He beamed at you with his most confident and dazzling grin.
I love you.
Thank goodness, that wasn't easy for me to do either. I love you too.
Woo! Oh. I never actually told my parents about that deal. The let's get married in 10 years plan.
It's okay. I never told my moms either.
Then, are we pretending that never happened, or...?
I wouldn't mind talking about it.
Really?
You'd admit that happened.
Of course, it's a sweet memory. You don't have to hide it.
Huh. Thank you. That's a relief, honestly. Our families are gonna get a kick out of it.
Definitely.
But that's said.
Leave it to me.
Thank you.
Okay, interesting. I'm gonna save there, because maybe there isn't an engagement thing. But I'm gonna keep trying a little bit more. To see if there... Because, man, if there is a way to get engaged from this balcony, and I just can't find it, like, yo, you gotta be real specific. Otherwise, maybe you get engaged on the Ferris wheel, and I just don't know that yet. Okay, serious conversation. Truthfully, I'm still considering it.
Really?
He shut his mouth, he blinked, he thought, he stalled. I am pretty serious. We had planned to be together. If he wouldn't make his standing clear, then you would. Derek gasped like this metaphorical sport was full impact and you nailed him straight on.
So...
Well, then, if you don't think it's totally stupid, we agreed to that deal because we thought we'd be good together. Maybe we should see if that's true. We could date.
Okay. So, it all comes back to that. Interesting. Alright. I'm going to load this. And I don't know... I mean, we'll talk about the deal at some point. I guess I'll bring you in for that. And then if I somehow figure out how to get engaged, I will also show you guys that, so I'll see you in a few seconds. Okay, I got through the intro with the family, so words have stopped. Something new's happening here. The warmth on Derek's face intensified. He combed his fingers messily through his own hair and continued the conversation good-humoredly.
Actually, funnily enough, in a way, this is old news.
He chuckled as the rest of the room fell silent in confusion. You knew what was coming, though you didn't intend on cutting Derek off.
This was in the works for a decade, an under-the-table type of thing. To make a long story short, Molly and I promised we'd get married if we were both single at 23. So just dating is taking the relationship slower than planned.
Mom and Jorge's faces of like, oh! Well, Mr. Suarez is like, haha, that's my boy! It's sending me. So good. I can confirm that's a true story. I was there. Stunned to silence by that revelation, the Suarez family stared at you both for a moment. The first sign of life you spotted was the smirk twisting on Jorge's face again.
Sounds like Derek.
I'm glad my boyfriend comes with good in-laws. Placing a hand over her heart, Mrs. Suarez glanced at her husband. He matched her tender smile.
Thank you.
We're grateful to have you.
We couldn't have dreamed of someone better suited for our Derek.
Daww. Derek rubbed the back of his neck out of embarrassment, but you caught him peeking at you still. You wondered how you won the romance lottery. Wonderful.
I swear.
Off to the neighborhood I go. I'll bring you in when we tell the moms and Mr. Holden, I guess. So when I met with the moms, I didn't get a scene where we told them about our deal to become fiancés as kids. So I kind of just skipped a whole bunch of stuff and decided to do the water park date this time, as we skipped that last time, going to the business meeting date instead. So now we got something new here for the water park date. Derek clutched the bag in his hand shyly in order to position it protectively in front of his chest. He kept his tone relaxed.
Well,
Hey, are we on a date now, or does that not start until we've made it to the park?
The date starts right this second. Go!
Awesome! I couldn't take the suspense.
Derek's and your first date had not only begun, it was on the move. On the move!
alright, what's up?
Hey, now we get to check each other out at the water park again.
Sup, gorgeous?
Those verdant eyes were focused right on your brown ones, at least when he first noticed you. After that, there was a moment when his gaze began to wander down over your full form. His staring didn't linger long enough to be impolite. It was as if he perfectly calculated the ideal number of seconds for personal joys and the upholding of societal values.
So...
Since we're definitely on a date at this point in the process, I thought it was fair game to mention how you looked, and that I'm a fan of it.
Thank you. I'm glad. You're welcome. I never disappoint my fans. The line was spoken as you shifted into a coy pose.
Man,
You give too much. I'm not worthy.
Chuckling bashfully, Derek ruffled his hair. You couldn't tell if he was mussing it up unconsciously or attempting to fix the direction of the spikiness after having to pull his hoodie over his head. Either way, you were very much aware of Derek being right there next to you. I'm a fan of your swimsuit too. And with that, you'd officially made Derek's day. He beamed wider than a championship winner's victory photo.
thank you.
And take as much of a look as you wanna. That's your privilege.
Come on.
Yes, such privilege. Alright. Here I go! Alright, I guess I'll skip ahead through... well, you guys can hang out here for a second. Let's see. Pros of both? Whoever thought of it was brilliant. No compromises need to be made there. You were disappointed wave pools weren't very common. At least they existed at all. Swam. Did I really not do the swimming last time? Oh, I did wave riding because I'm a wave rider. Right. Okay, we'll try swimming through the pool this time. With no rhyme or reason in mind, you attempted to cut across the waves. It was fun, fighting valiantly against the man-made tide. Derek joined up with you on the crossing, grinning eagerly. His strokes were powerful, and it didn't impede his progression when the waves rose over his head. No words could be exchanged without getting a mouthful of chlorinated water, but with a trusty partner by your side, you made it all across the park-length pool. It was a true accomplishment, especially with how crowded the place was. Hooray! Explored.
Sorry.
Yeah, you know what? We will grab his hand. Woo! And then we went to another area through the lazy river.
Oh, well.
There we go. Okay, there is extra date stuff here. Derek hooked his arm across your shoulders, pulling you in towards him. You looped your own arm around his back. His body heat was especially pleasant while soaking wet and standing in the cooling evening air.
So...
Yes? He got comfortable for the wait, resting his chin on his fist and looking across the table at you with a cheeky grin.
How did I do on our first super official date? You don't have to hold back. I can take constructive feedback.
I have no critiques.
Thanks.
Whoa!
The teasing interview came to an end before it began. He instead shifted to lean fully back against the white plastic chair, chuckling contentedly. His cheeks and eyes lifted, pleased. You are more grateful than ever to be there, at the water park, in the state you grew up in, and at the side of your boyfriend.
Good to see.
Okay. And I'll continue. I can't imagine much is going to change again from here. I'll see if something changes near like the end of his DLC. So hang in there, guys. Okay, nothing new happened at the Ferris wheel. Darn it. But he is bringing up the marriage pact discussion we had on the balcony at the dinner party before Molly goes back home. So we'll see what changes here, at least.
Molly, I owe you an apology, or at least an explanation. No, both.
You blinked. If there was one thing you could count on, it was that Derek Suarez wouldn't do you wrong. Not intentionally, anyway. Huh? About what?
Well, that's obvious. I had asked you to marry me, in a way, and I almost didn't realize this was the year it was supposed to happen. How inconsiderate can I get?
That outburst sapped him of all energy. Derek's shoulders slumped and his tone dropped even lower.
It's been a long time.
We'd been apart for a long time. Looks like I was in denial about how long. Days, weeks, months, and years just went by before I even knew it. It couldn't be the deadline already, I thought. No way. Especially with how not grown up I felt and how non-figured out everything was. But it was true. The summer when we were 23 was the year I picked. Is it good or bad timing that this marriage pact plan coincided with my career crisis? I don't know.
The rhetorical question lingered. Then a bit of humor returned to Derek's darkened features.
Actually, I do. It is for the best that it all happened now. We could work the whole mess out in one. Though that was also part of why I lost sight of things. I don't want you to think it meant nothing because of that.
I swear.
It's not that it didn't matter to me. It mattered so much I couldn't even face it. I had to run away.
Derek almost cracked from the self-imposed pressure. His voice did break.
Asking you to marry me if there was nobody else wasn't one of those wild, impulsive stunts I pull sometimes. I really thought it through. As in, I thought through all the ways I could maybe be with you without daring to just ask you to be with me.
The truth is,
I hinge a lot of hopes on that plan, but it was wishful thinking to see it as a solution. It doesn't work that way.
Is that it?
you.
Why did it stop there? Well, I guess there must have been at least a couple lines of dialogue that were different there, but... I'm like, wait, but... I thought we were getting, like, something new there?
sorry.
No?
No.
I guess not.
What?
Huh. Alright. Well, I guess that was the end. No engagement, but we did get to see what dating him with the whole marriage pact plan was. And that is going to have to do it. I really thought I could get engaged. Oh well. Either way, guys, thank you very much for joining me. I think that's going to do it for all the AU stuff for Derek. I love that guy. His DLC was wonderful. He's adorable, and I loved MC and him together, and I wish them nothing but the best. They're cuties, and they have a cute family, and it's just, adorable. Love, love, love it. And, with that being said, I'm very excited, because now I get to start Baxter's route. Let's roll back the tape, start all over. Maybe do a dance with him and stuff too? If I can figure that out. Wish me luck, guys. Hopefully I'll see you then. Thanks again for joining me for Derek's route. Until next time, I will see you later.